Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Cooking. I'm your host, Chef Theodore, and today actually has been a very, very challenging day for all of us around the world. I thought quite a few times if we should do our tourist space tonight or not, but I actually thought it's better if we do it and have some good conversations and hopefully, just focus on something else for a while. So yeah, thank you all for coming tonight. I think we're actually going to have a great show today, great space. We have some really amazing guests with some amazing missions and projects. So without further ado, I just want to say hello to Justin and Mike from the Cardano Army. How are you guys doing?
Good, Chef. Thank you so much for having us on. I just want to quickly say, I'm very glad that we as a team decided to move forward with the space today. And I just want to kind of say as a precursor that we're hoping this is just a pleasant place where people can escape, the terrible day that we're having as a world community. So please don't take, if we have some lighthearted banter, please know that our hearts are heavy with what's happened today, and we're hoping to offer the community a place to escape some of these hardships for a short while. So just wanted to say I'll get off my soapbox. That's my TED Talk. But thank you for having us, Chef. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Mike?
Yep, just hope everybody's hanging in there, doing as best they can, and let's see what we got.
All right. Let's have Gaia. How are you doing?
Good. It's crazy to see the things happening in the world, but I'm glad that we're all still getting together to focus on good things as well and what we can accomplish together. So yeah, thanks for having me on, Chef, and Cardano Army. It's great to be here.
It's nice having you on. Thank you so much for coming. We're really looking forward to hear more from you in a few minutes. Cody, I just want to say hi to you as well. So nice having you on, man. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, well, monitoring the internet has been infuriating today. As everyone knows, I think, in large part, what's going on. The global theater that they're playing has real world consequences. And I wish that I had some sort of authority to do something, but I don't. And it's just hard to watch, honestly.
Yeah. 46 South, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, actually. Pretty bit of a weird day, as I think you mentioned. But I think it's I'm way down south in New Zealand, so it feels a long way away, but actually we're all part of the world that we're in. And the way obviously with news and media, it feels like it's just out the back door, but I know it's not. But it's I think, right way of saying it. This should be a space where we can kind of disconnect from that for a little bit, but not forgetting that it still does exist. It's still happening right out there. It's things like these are happening all around the world, and we can often get a bit too sheltered in our little bubbles. And we need to make sure we're aware of what's going on, really.
Thanks. Earth Natives, thank you for coming on tonight.
That's a pleasure for us. As you said, it's a sad day, but maybe we'll just focus on building and focus on the future, and what we can do to stand ahead. We'll always be there.
So let's start our space with Gaia. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a fellow Canadian. So yeah, please tell us a little bit about you and your pool and your mission and what you're building.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. You're right. I am a fellow Canadian. I live in Alberta, in Canada. My wife Lisa and I started the stake pool because we wanted to do something where we could contribute to Cardano ecosystem and have a positive impact on the world. We care a lot about nature and know that without action, things aren't going to improve. So we focus on donating half of our profits to charities that have an active role in, I guess, making a difference with the climate change and so reforestation and cleaning up the oceans. Because, those are things that have measurable results. You can actually see something happen. And, that's change that everybody can be a part of. So, we got into Cardano in 2017 and started the stake pool in 2020. And it's been a really good experience. So, as for what we are doing, aside from just, our mission of trying to make our world better through reforestation and ocean cleanup, we also have a podcast called Rocky Mountain Cryptids. It's about cryptozoology. So if anybody's interested in that, you can find it on any streaming platforms for podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're working on a tabletop card game called Captivate Cardano Edition. And we had that in Project Catalyst for Fund 7, but unfortunately it was not successfully funded. It was voted on. So the funds just ran out before we got funded. So we're going to reapply for Fund 8 and hopefully it succeeds. But yeah, we're just going to keep working on that project. And we're also involved in the Climate Neutral Cardano group. So I can go into that in more detail later if you like. It's a really good group. One of the biggest projects that they were involved in is the Fair Tree project. So we had a hand in getting the data that they needed for calculating how many trees needed to be planted. And then we also meet with them every week, usually. So, yeah. And we're also part of the Mission Driven Pools group. And that group is focused on charitable donations and just trying to set some standards on that. So we're finishing up the results of our audits, and then we're going to be changing some membership requirements. And then hopefully we can accomplish some big things together. So lots going on. Thanks.
Yeah, we're actually very excited to hear all about it. I just want to do a quick roundtable, and have everybody tell us about their pool and about themselves, and then I would really like to go into more of the details of what you guys are all building. 46 South.
Yeah, thank you. I think hopefully people can guess my accent, that I'm not from Canada, I'm not from America, I'm from New Zealand. And so we're way down south, the bottom of the South Island of Invercargill in the South Island. So I suspect most of you are going to have to Google that, look it up, find where Invercargill is. Because we're pretty spatially decentralized, and I think that's a big part of what we're trying to bring to the Cardano network, is the fact that we're miles away from anyone. Our server and our bare metal servers, they're here at home with me. They're not part of the cloud. They're part of that bare metal approach. And I think we received one of the IOHK delegations last round. We haven't got it at the moment, obviously, and I think that really came about as a result of being this spatial decentralization, that we're miles away from others. If all of our servers are all stuck in one cloud provider, it's not going to work so well. And look, coupled with that, being in New Zealand's all about clean and green. We're not all perfect, but I know that all of the power from South Island, New Zealand, it's hydro, it's wind. I think we've got a little bit of solar, but it's all sustainable energy. And I started off with an Ethereum mining rig quite a few years ago. Had great fun burning through power doing that. But then realized, kind of discovered Cardano, got a bit more into it, and realized, well, this, proof of work makes a lot more, proof of stake, makes a lot more sense. Proof of work, it's not a particularly sustainable way of going about it. The proof of stake, I'm sitting at 100 watts. I know the Raspberry Pi nodes, they run even better, but it's a pretty minimal impact that's easy to scale. You're not starting to consume countries worth of power to have this kind of ecosystem. And that's where I think that's what we want to bring to the network. I enjoy being part of these kind of networks, being part of the ecosystem, being able to contribute to something like this. And I really enjoy the idea that decentralized networks, you don't have to be a big centralized major player to be part of it. That the whole point is not to have any one significant party. That we should be, enthusiasts should be able to be part of it. That it is much more than any one person. And I think, I hear Charles carrying on like that quite a bit. It is much more than him. It is much more than any of us. If we get the groundwork right, it will become a big amorphous thing that is much more than us. The risk is there that it becomes an amorphous thing that no one can control, but I think if there's good planning involved, as Cardano's got, that it can be much more. So sorry, there's a little bit of a rant there, but there's an introduction.
Awesome, thank you. Earth Natives, you want to go next? I'd love to hear a little bit about your project.
Hi, yeah, sure. So hi, everybody. I'm Christy. I'm one of the co-founders here of Earth Natives. Thiago spoke briefly before. I really just wanted to say a big thank you for having us on this space to begin with, and a shout out to Happy Traveler Joe, who mentioned it to us and I believe wrote us a wonderful blog on the Cardano Army website. So thank you for that. So Earth Natives, I'll do a quick intro before we delve into it more, but it's a CNFT project. It came about because behind the scenes we have what's an Institute Ecotherm Modular, and it is an institute dedicated to educating others about building sustainably using compressed earth interlocking bricks. And we have managed to tie this in with our project in a way that with the sales of the NFTs, we're using the profits to go towards building these sustainable ecological houses and then donating to people in need. So we've already started our first house, which is based in Brazil. The whole journey we are sharing with the community. We like to call it POD, proof of donation. So, your purchase of the NFT is your way of helping us to make this possible. And we've just hit our first milestone in that we've completed the foundation, and we are now ready to start building the walls for this house. Thiago later will talk to you more about the actual construction side of things. He is the CEO of Ecotherm, and he helped design these ecological bricks. But yeah, that's it. Very brief sum up of what we're doing.
Wow. I can't wait to hear more about the project. So if there is before we go and start talking more about with Gaia about the project and everything else, if there's any other SPO that would like to come up please feel free at any given time to request to be a speaker. As long as we have room up here, we will definitely bring you up. And, if you want to share anything with us, anything about your pool, for the audience to know as well, or if you want to talk about our topic, please feel free to come up. So, Gaia, back to you. Please tell us more about climate neutral.
Sure thing, Chef. So Climate Neutral Cardano Group is an alliance of Cardano stake pools that are committed to using 100% renewable energy for operating our stake pool servers. We also donate a portion of our operator rewards to protecting climate and the environment. So we're basically working together with the Cardano community, institutions, and other parties to achieve the goal of making Cardano carbon neutral and the most eco-friendly blockchain. So anybody that is running a green stake pool, 100% renewable energy, please join us. We would love to have you. Feel free to visit our website, climateneutralcardano.org. There you can apply to become a member. You can also sit in on our regular meetings. They're every 2 weeks. So we usually do that over Zoom or Google Meetings, and we can, if you message me or some of our other members like Shift Pool or CO2 Pool, we can, give you access to the Telegram group to join in. Basically, you don't have to be a Cardano stake pool operator to join, as long as you care about the environment and if you're looking to make positive change. We'd be happy to have you. There's lots of work to do, so we're just trying to connect with as many people in the space as possible, because working together, we can accomplish a lot more than working apart, and then we don't have overlap of work. We recently connected with Cardano for Climate, and they're largely focused on Catalyst, but it's good to be working with them now because, that opens up a whole other area that we really didn't have a lot of experience with because we're more on the stake pool side. So, if anybody at all that wants to get involved in climate action in Cardano, feel free to message us. I guess go ahead.
Take your time. That's all I wanted to say. Take your time.
Oh.
I had a quick question while you were pausing on that, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Yeah. So, Jo, who I know, many of you all know, she's more well known than the rest of us at Cardano Army because she does all these awesome blogs and all this outreach. But she did some tremendous research on the project, and one thing that she highlighted was how there's a difference between passive and active members. I think we tend to reach out to SPOs a lot as a Cardano Army, and I think we could provide some good resources to help get the word out, and even by taking sound bites of this interview, honestly. She has a note here that you have passive and active members, and passive is, typically running 100% on renewables, donate to one eco charity, and attend the one meeting, and then you have the active members. Can you kind of define that a little clearer? I think that's interesting, especially for some of our other pools that we'll probably be sharing this with.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So passive membership is just like the minimum to be a part of the group as a stake pool operator. And like you said, those minimum requirements are running on renewables, joining one meeting at least, and then donating to a carbon neutral related project. But if you become an active member, then you also can attend meetings that are more decision-making meetings. So we have meetings with Veritree every week, just to follow up on the Cardano Forest project. So you can attend those. We also have another project we're working on for the group. It's a Madagascar tree planting project. So you would be able to attend those meetings as well and have some input. Yeah, but to be an active member, you also need to donate at least 20% of your pool's rewards. So not just like some, but 20% as a minimum. And then attend regular meetings as well.
Awesome. Thank you for outlining that for us. I'm glad you brought up Madagascar, because it's kind of scary. It sounds like basically there's just a lot of clear cutting of forests in Madagascar, which causes problems, even like desertification. Can you maybe tell us just a little bit more about that? It was kind of alarming when I was looking into that.
Yeah. I mean, before we connected with this project, I didn't realize how bad it was either. So Christian from Biopool connected us with Elliot, the NGO of Teti Casa Ala, which means Forest Project in Malagasy. And they're the group that wants to do this reforestation project. So in 2017, Madagascar ranked 4th in terms of deforestation, and they had 510,000 hectares destroyed in 1 year, which is basically the equivalent of 3.8% of all the forests in Madagascar, or 48.5 times the area of Paris. So a huge amount of deforestation in 1 year. And this is basically because the farming practices right now are focused on kind of a survival mindset. The people aren't thinking about long-term when, they are focused on surviving. And so the clear cutting that's being done is to plant crops that will generate money. So like corn, easy to grow crops, not necessarily sustainable crops for the long term. Like they can't even think a year out when they're focused on survival. So this project is basically a permaculture project, and to try and get the farmers to go back to planting trees the way they used to plant them. So the goal is to plant not just like carbon capturing trees, but fruit and vegetable producing trees, like bananas, oranges, tomatoes, zucchini, coffee, so that the farmers can have food that they can not only survive on, but also sell the yields and make an income off as well. So by having somebody come and help them with this, then they can focus on a longer term plan, right? And see the results and see that it works. But because there is desertification now, basically there's like, you think of Madagascar and there is a rainy season where it's quite rainy, but then there's also a dry season where it's quite dry. And climate change is making that even worse. So they'll have even more extremes, right? So there's areas where there's no water. So basically they also need to dig wells to get at sources of water. So that's another cost in itself. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's really impressive how quick. I mean, I want to pivot this just a little bit because it's tough news and we're having a tough day. But the crazy thing is by planting food crops like even like tomatoes, just vegetables, even a lot of citrus trees and stuff, they can actually reverse a lot of this really effectively in a pretty short amount of time. It's one of the more manageable things. We just need action. So I just think it's really good that you guys are taking action. And I was reading that they have 17 hectares, am I saying that right, of land, just an enormous plot of land to plant on. So really a good opportunity for change. I think that's what a lot of us are here in Cardano is for, actionable change. And it just seems like that's one of the biggest things. Anytime I see you partnering with someone, it's always about that active, impactful change. So bravo, hats off to you. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, it's good for the group and it's good for the Cardano community because, this is a project that can have positive impact, and they're looking to do this like expand it, right? So there was a pilot project. It received funding from the French government. So that was successful. And now they're looking to expand this project to cover that 17 hectares, like you said. So that would be they'd be able to plant 100,000 trees over a year, so 8,000 trees a month. So that's what Climate Neutral Cardano is looking to raise, and we're currently working out how we want to do the funding for that. So we're still in the beginning stages, but basically we came to this project because not only is it a good project, and they were looking to get funding anyways, but Veritree currently doesn't have any more room for planting until 2022. So we can't work with them on a new project right now. So this is a way for the pools in the group to be able to donate to a project, and then we can still see trees getting planted and people's lives getting changed for the better. So
do you guys have anything that we can vote on for Fund 8 coming up?
Not yet, because Fund 8 just opened up for submissions today. So yes, I'll be putting in Captivate Cardano Edition again for Fund 8 because it did get successfully voted for but didn't get funded. So and we did have another Fund 7. We had a project that actually did get voted for and got funded, and that was the Cardano carbon footprint. Would you like me to go into that?
Yeah.
Okay. So part of the Veritree project, the Climate Neutral Cardano group came up with the initial calculations on how many trees we needed to plant to offset the Cardano blockchain for carbon emissions. And this was just based on stake pool operators' equipment. So Shift Pool in particular did the calculations and figured out that the goal needed to be 1 million trees. And then this offsets the power consumption 4 times over. But basically, that's an estimate, and it only covers stake pool operators, whereas Cardano is more than just stake pool operators. Like, everybody has power in their house that they use. IOG, CF, and Emergo, Catalyst, there's a carbon footprint for that. So to actually make Cardano carbon neutral and climate positive, we need to figure out what Cardano's carbon footprint actually is so that we can for sure say that we're climate neutral and climate positive. So, in Fund 7, the submission was to figure out what that is. So we've commissioned My Carbon Zero, a project of the Pond Foundation, as an independent expert organization that can help figure out the total emissions. And then we can move forward based on that information. So now that it's been successfully funded, we are just moving on to delivering on that. So, that's pretty exciting. We can can figure out what Cardano's emissions are. We can for sure claim we're the greenest chain, right?
Excellent. So explain like I'm 5 for everyone here. What do we look out for? We want to support you guys. We're looking out for anything with your name on it. Like when Fund 7, Fund 8 does come around, what are we looking out for?
Okay, so for Fund 8, there was a proposal that didn't get funded in Fund 7 that will probably be resubmitted, a world map of green Cardano. So that's one. And then Captivate Cardano Edition will be another. And that's all I have for now for Fund 8. But yeah, if I find out any more, I will let you know.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on our space. I consider you a good friend of the show now and a good friend of the Cardano Army. And just thanks for everything that you're doing and anything we can do to help get the word out about all the good you are doing. We'd love to know. So I want to switch gears to 46 South, if that's okay, guys. We're intending to just kind of your projects, and then we have some roundtable topics, that we'll all dive in on, if that's okay. So 46 South, I just wanted to dive in. I know I loved how you were going into your location in New Zealand. You operate your pool on renewable energy. Can you tell us about the power stations in New Zealand and how they generate power? It appears to all be either hydroelectric or geothermal. Do you have any interesting insights about that, for what that looks like for us?
Thank you. Now, and hopefully everyone can hear me all right. And hopefully everyone's
you sound really all right. Yeah, you're all good. Sounds great.
Cool. No, thank you. New Zealand, especially the South Island, we get a lot of rainfall. New Zealand's a pretty wet place. We get a lot of rainfall. It would have been years ago, the 1970s, we had government did these big projects. So they're pretty ambitious hydro projects. With the rain, we've got a lot of water. So they dammed up the rivers. Now you look at them now, you kind of see, look, they may not have been the best impact for some of the ecosystems and how they've done it. Fish passages have been pretty stuffed up. We've got some dams that are kind of filling up with sediment. It's changed the way rivers are operating and such. So, you need to consider hydro pretty carefully, but these things exist already. And so the South Island, New Zealand, we've got a lot of hydro. Some are really big plants. I'll try pull up some stats while I'm talking about it. And I've got a link on our website just through to there's a good Wikipedia page that covers off New Zealand's power. We've got a lot of hydro. We've got a bit of wind. There's a few wind farms around, and New Zealand doesn't. There's only 5 million people here, so we don't have huge energy needs. So we don't have nearly as much as other places. That's where within New Zealand we can manage quite happily the power that we, as the 5 million, need, industry and everything, renewably. Some countries with you've got much more population in some places, it's really hard to get that power to them. But no, New Zealand's in a pretty good place for that. The North Island of New Zealand, we do have a bit of coal. There's a few plants there that aren't sustainable in that matter, but the government's committing to shutting those down. That we're not building new ones. We're trying to get rid of them. Geothermal, that's a really good way of using some of the New Zealand's also got a fair bit of volcanic activity and earthquake activity. We live right on the join between two tectonic plates, so we do have that geothermal ability. And then, look, there's a little bit of solar as well, but those are usually a bit harder to do in New Zealand because we're not manufacturing solar panels ourselves. So, bringing those from across the world into New Zealand is a bit tough. We've got in Southland in particular, where Invercargill, we've got the Manapori Power Station, and that was a pretty big feat of engineering. I'm an engineer myself, so I end up really quite liking looking at engineering projects. And so that power from the Manapori Power Station, that ends up in the Tiwai aluminium smelter, and so we've got some of the greenest low inherent carbon aluminium in the world. The aluminium smelter is going to shut down at some point. It can't keep going. It's been going for 70 years already. They're going to have to shut it down. But there's a lot of talk of trying to make, I think it's called green hydrogen. I haven't quite remembered the right terms, but we'll use that renewable energy from the hydro to synthesize the hydrogen. It's all part of that change in how energy is used around the world. And so, hearing the talk of, and I think Guy, your carbon neutral Cardano, I found that page. I'll make sure I get into that as well. That's, I think, is a really good opportunity to show that sustainable blockchains are quite achievable. Because if this is going to be a technology in the next 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years, it needs to be considered now, not accidentally a little bit later when we figured out a problem. We need to be planning for it to make it right now. So I think, yeah, that's a really good way of measure the footprint of Cardano now, put some benchmarks in place, and make sure there's a clear plan to lower that footprint. And so for the stake pool specifically, I know that all the power that comes for our pool here is coming from renewable sources, hydro, and the wind farms close by. We end up sending a lot of that power into the North Island as well. So South Island of New Zealand is carbon negative. We're benefiting the rest of New Zealand for that. And so for my pool in particular, where I live, I've got a couple of hectares of land here, 5 acres. I've got 135 trees planted as well, and that's all part of sustainable energy use here. So the point for those is to cut them down at the right time, use it for firewood. They grow again. That's all just been sequestered carbon. But all that means is I'm not using energy from the network. It works out well from a cost point of view, but it removes that energy from the network that someone else can continue to use hydro. So instead of me using hydro power, I'm using that energy stored from the sun and the trees that are grown on my own property to heat my house. And that's pretty hard to kind of put that into a stake pool, but those are actions that I, as a stake pool operator, can do, that we can all do some positive actions. And I think that's part of what we can do as a community. We can all have our little positive actions, and those communal positive actions all have really good benefits when everyone's doing it together. Yeah. So, sorry, I see Mike, you got your hand up there too.
Yeah. So, I'm so glad I get to ask you this question. Decentralization. We don't get to ask it to all the big people, right? Can you tell us about decentralization? Give us your thoughts as to why different kinds of decentralization, including spatial decentralization, are important.
Yep, and I'm not an expert on blockchain, but I've got opinions, so I'll use them. And I think so I can see some good reactions there. Thank you. And for decentralization, I think that's really around the idea that the network becomes more than any one actor, that the network behaves as intended and will continue to behave as intended without any one party pushing it. And so you've also got the ability to be resilient against negative attacks. That spatially, good luck trying to find my servers. Good luck trying to find where I am in the world. Obviously in Invercargill, it's still a reasonably big place, but that's where bare metal comes into play. That if you've got your service on a cloud, I don't know what power governments are going to have against cloud providers, but it's really hard to kind of regulate bare metal servers. And I think that's an important part of it. There will always be a place for those cloud ones, but I see a lot of pools spinning up and spending a lot of money on their cloud providers. And so I don't know how sustainable that is, especially when you're a small pool and you're not getting those blocks minted. But for me, it's only 100 watts. My overhead's pretty low. I can continue to contribute to the network even without all the delegators. I'd love delegators though. Send it on through. But we can continue to be part of that network without falling over. And I think that's a big part of decentralization, that you can still be part of it without suffering if you don't have delegators or rewards for a month or 2 months or 6 months or whatever it is, that you're able to continue to contribute. It is, you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. That's what a lot of these decentralized community approaches are. Not all actors in blockchain are going to be stake pool operators. We can't have that many. But you need to make sure that it isn't held only by those who have power and money. It needs to be held by those who don't have power and money. And that's where having the ability to have pools operate in far-flung places, especially, the developing countries, that they can operate a pool without going through massive overheads to be able to get it going. And I think that's a really big discussion around those parameters for the stake pools. Don't make it that you must have 1 or 2 million ADA to be able to be a stake pool operator. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to get in. Those that have got in, they're there, and then it's too late for anyone else. You don't want to have a network that it's too late to be part of. You want to have people that can join in whenever they want. And that's where I enjoyed being able to do that as part of Ethereum. I had my 8 card rig. It ran. I got rewards. I was part of it. And you're able to be, as an enthusiast, part of the network and contribute. I think we need to make sure Cardano does the same, that you can still spin up a node, be part of it, and it's not going to cost you too much. Because if it does cost too much, it's only going to be those that have money that will do it. So, I don't know. Does that answer the question?
Yes, very, very well said. Just want to say thank you. I learned a lot.
Cool. No, thank you. And yeah, I guess while I've still got the floor here, Guy, I noticed I picked up on a word you said when you first did your introduction there, cryptozoology. And I don't know if you know, there is actually a New Zealand cryptozoology NFT project that Moa Pool and a few others set off, which is I thought there was a nice little crossover there. So yeah, have a look at that. They've got some really good beasts and monsters as part of that. So yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know about that. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, so no, it's just one of those many NFT projects. But I thought when you started saying it, I thought, oh wait, hang on, I thought it was a New Zealand project. But yeah, it still is. But yeah, good crossover.
I just want to say really quick, it's amazing to see, especially today, you see people trying to destroy the planet, and there's, tonight here we have people that actually do a lot of good work to save the planet and, make the planet better. And we definitely thank you and appreciate you a lot. And it's a great pleasure having you on, and you're all able to talk about what you're doing and how you help our ecosystem and our planet to grow and evolve and get better. So thank you so much. I want to go to Earth Natives. Thank you so much for your patience. We do really want to hear about you and what you're doing. But before we get there, I really want us to go with a giveaway. If you want to start with this, because I know the time is running. So if you want to start with this and then talk about your project. Thank you.
Yeah, Chef, I think that's perfect. That's what we were kind of set up to do. Give people here on the space more time. So yeah, Guy was mentioned the work that they do with Very3 tokens, and I think he would love to hear your opinion on this, Guy, about what we just about here to do now. When our dev for the first drop, our dev said, "Look, it's all good. I would like you to try mint a few that we were going to use for giveaways." On the first mint that we did, we mint like about 10 NFTs, and then we got one that was the gold. And then our NFT collection, it's 3,333 different type of minerals. And then, of course, that's only one gold on the whole collection. And then when we minted the golds, wow, what are we going to do with these? Like, how are we going to, supposed to go to the community? Like, we don't want to hold the gold here. We want that it falls in somebody's nice hands. And I have been thinking about it. And then, the way that we figured out that could go to the right hands is that to buy that NFT from an auction, you would have to pay with Very3 tokens. So that will, the idea is to bring a spotlight to Very3 tokens. I know that's a lot of people out there that they hold like lots of those tokens. And then this is an opportunity for us to get with the community, show the value of the tree. So we're kind of going for the gold against tree. And also, a second point that I think is really worth to mention is that this initiative, it's a very simple initiative, but I think this could also help the DAOs. We have a lot of active DAOs already in our space, and I think this is a great opportunity for DAOs to organize themselves, and every member of the DAO send 15, 20 tokens if they want to purchase this NFT in collaboration with all the DAO members. So this is also a way as well to kind of exercise the DAO activity on the blockchain. Everybody has a lot to learn and do. So we're going to be holding this auction. I'll pin or ask Christy here to pin for me the NFT that advertise this. Where is it?
Keep talking.
Yeah. So we're gonna we'll pin this advertisement about the auction. This auction is gonna happen on Vegemite. You guys will be able to. Everybody will be able to participate, and then, yeah. If you guys like, retweet that tweet, and then we at the end of this space, we're gonna give one random NFT for someone on this space that have already retweet this advertisement. Yeah, wait, so we can all here together kind of bring some spotlight for Verity tokens. That's it, brother.
Thank you so much. Feel free to pin that. Oh, we actually already did. Perfect. Justin already did. So it's already pinned up there. So you guys, yeah, feel free to retweet it and throw that. Please go ahead. Gaia, yes.
Oh, I just really love that idea. Using Verity tokens as another use case for doing good. It's a great idea. Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. So I'll definitely share the link. And yeah, I'd actually like to connect with you a little bit more later too, just because I really like your project and your art style. And I know Climate Neutral Cardano is looking for potential NFT artists or projects to connect with to potentially do something with that Madagascar project. So I think you would be a definite choice. So if you're interested, I'd love to talk more later.
Again, thanks for other chef and Cardano Army to connect us. I was listening careful for everything that you said in the beginning. I have a really, really deep involvement with permaculture and with replanting, reforestation. We have a great partner in Brazil that we have been chat, and we would like to onboard them on Cardano. They have already planted over 2.5 million trees in Brazil. They are very consolidated organization over there, and they are looking to get into this space, and we're gonna definitely try bridge. And when you were speaking, I was thinking to hit you up on the DMs and then see how far we can go with this. So yeah, I think those spaces are great for the connections. Once we actually speak about and we learn about each other's what we are doing on the space, we see a lot of synergy and things that we can do together, do a lot better together.
Just want to quickly say I love the art too. I just literally one bullet point before we move on. I love your art style, Earth Natives. Sincerely one of my favorite art styles I've seen for an NFT project.
Do you actually want to go and talk about further about this your NFT project and what you're doing with the houses that you build?
Yes, we'll do that. Thank you. I'll take over just to speak about the project side of things, and as I said, Thiago will speak about the building side of things. So the CNFT project in itself, the whole idea came about talking about climate change and ways to better the earth. And the story behind our NFTs is that humans were forced underground to survive, and learning about earth as a way to survive. So we have 3 different collections. The first collection we have already sold, and it was with a total of 1,333 NFTs. As Thiago said, the main important component of our NFTs, of the artwork, is the mineral that they wear on the chests. Every single NFT has its own unique mineral. So that's 1,333 minerals for each NFT. So it's something very unique. And the whole idea is that with the minerals, we're really trying to educate people about the complexity of Earth. Because, especially when it comes to building, it's not like you can just choose any soil to start to build with it. But the soil in itself is so rich, and the qualities it has will depend on the style of brick that you can produce. So in our metadata, we actually talk about the name of the mineral, the Mohs scale of the mineral. For those that don't know what that is, it's just technically it's the hardness of the mineral on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being soft, 10 being hard. And then the scientific formula is also included in the metadata. So we think that's pretty cool. The artist, João Montanaro, is a very well-known artist in Brazil. Amazing artist. He's been drawing since the age of, I think, 12, maybe even 6, but he actually did his first professional work at the age of 12. The first collection enabled us to complete the foundation for the house that we are building in Brazil. And with our next collection that we're about to drop next week on the 6th of March, it's an all-female collection called A Dance. That's going to be, the profits from that is going to be going towards building the actual walls using these compressed earth interlocking bricks, and then doing all the plumbing and like the electricity utility side of things. And then we have another drop after that, and then that one's going into finishing out the flooring, doing the roofing. So Thiago will talk about the technical side of those things. But in total, it's going to be 3,333 NFTs, and the profits are going towards building this house that we are donating to a beautiful family in Brazil. So that's where we are at the moment with our project, and Thiago will talk to you a bit more about Ecoterm, so the institute behind and their technology of the sustainable brick.
Yeah, does anyone has any question about the actual NFT before we move to the building?
No, you can.
I have a question, Chef. Sorry, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Can
go ahead.
It doesn't have to be a lot of content, but or a lot of info. But I would like to know a little bit more of, I guess, the lore or the storyline behind what we're seeing with the NFTs, because I think it's awesome. We've touched on it a little bit, but if you guys have any more context as to what these characters really represent, and that would be awesome.
Sure. So the lore is a work in progress as we speak, but the whole idea was, as we see around us, the world or the planet itself is suffering. With climate change increasing, we've kind of set the project in the future, where the world just couldn't take it anymore. The temperature just got so hot that humans were forced underground, and it's during the time underground that they've actually come across these minerals through digging and trying to survive, that they've actually then morphed into these 3 different species of animals. The first one was armadillos, which is going off the armadillo, a dant off the ant, and then mercatas is going to be off the meerkat. The idea is that each of these animals use earth in a way to survive, to be, the protective qualities of earth to make their homes, the thermal mass of the earth to keep their bodies warm. They use earth to survive. And so that's the idea of merging the humans with these animals, and then in a way tying that into the idea of building with earth.
Make sure there's place for chapters available on the website.
At the moment, on our website, we have released the lore story, so more of a fantasy kind of story about this, explaining it. It's a work in progress, as I said. Regards what they actually look like, it's only really the mineral that represents the tie-in between our project and the earth itself. Yeah. So you want to say something, Jacob?
Really, really cool. I can't wait to see you elaborate more. I'd love to see it all. 6 seasons in a movie. I want a whole show and everything. That was really cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I'm obliged to say as well. I love when she writes. I love everything that she writes. So, like, for me, it's really cool to see like when you come up on the details and the conversations between the characters. Just brings a lot of makes you see the project in a different way. It's really cool.
I just wanted to add in as well. I forgot something as well that we're really trying to do with the law is to bring about the idea of numbers, the golden ratio, the balance and harmony of Earth.
Gratitude,
these values,
the power of water as like something almost magical source of life. A lot of meaning behind. And
the last thing, sorry, I'll add in, is that each of our NFTs comes with a piece of music. So if you do hold a native, you'll know that you have a music attached to it. It's beautiful music. It's from a ceremonial ayahuasca music. It's a Brazilian artist. And it's just a reminder for us all, in the hectic lives that we may live, to just take that moment every day to just be at peace and to breathe and to just
connect with nature.
Tiago, if you want to tell us about the houses as well, please go ahead before we move on.
Cool. I'll be short. I think we kind of extended already a bit. So those interlocking bricks, they are made with compressed earth, local source earth. So in terms of sustainability, they are very efficient for many reasons. One of the main reasons is actually how you use them to build. So instead use the normal clay bricks that's fired. You need cement and sand as a mortar to lie a course between one brick and the other. And with our technology, that's not required. You simply stack one on top of the other using just a little bit of glue, and so that you save a lot in sand and cement from that process. And a lot of waste is saved as well because they are modular walls, so it's exactly like a Lego. You can finish like a wall on the Lego, like if you want to put a door, without coming and put like a 1/2 piece at the end, right? Like which would be a half brick. So you always use like a full module and a half module, a full half as you come up on the wall. So we already send all those modules cutted, and then it's pretty much on site to just assemble it. And the normal construction side, you would come to the end of the wall and then you would break the brick on the trial. And if it breaks a bit more or less, you pretty much just waste that brick. And then you just got to get another brick and try to break it proper. So we avoid a lot of waste on this process. Also, as we build the walls, the plumbing and the electricity, it's already inside of the walls, so that avoid you having to build and then have to go back and cut and then strut the wall so you can pass pipes and wires. So that's there's many reasons that it's considered ecological way to build with, and Institute Ecotherm and Earth Natives stands for our fight is to promote the use of earth as a sustainable way to build with. And with the house that we're building right now, we have already finished the foundation. We had extra work on the foundation because the back of the land, compared with the level from the street access, was about 1.20 meters difference. So we had to raise the whole foundation up, because Trindade, which is the lady that is going to be benefit from the donation, she's already on the 67 years old, so we didn't want to put like steps or ramp for her to access, so we spent a bit more on the foundation trying to get it right regards to it. And then now we are already laying the first course of bricks, and the wall is already being built up. So on Discord or Twitter, we will be always constantly giving updates about how things are going over there. Sorry about my kid here, sorry.
Thank you so much. And yeah, never be sorry about having a kid screaming in the background. It's all good.
Agreed.
With that being said, I would really like to do a roundtable question for everybody. What do you all think about the negative stigma around blockchain being a major source of pollution, and all you have to use all that energy, especially for proof of work and Bitcoin and whatnot? Let's start with Cody, and then let's go with Gaia, 46 South, and again, Earth Natives.
Okay, so the energy consumption is not problematic. It's how we extract the energy.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Cody. I'm sorry to interrupt. Your microphone sounds like it might be a little far away. I just wanted, before you got too far into it, you're a little bit quiet.
Okay. Is this any better?
It was a little bit better when you just spoke a second ago. Yeah.
All right. I'm actually outside walking home in the snow, so I'll step down and give you what I think here in a minute when I get back to the house. Is that all right?
Yeah, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. Take your time, Cody. Gaia, let's start with you again. What do you guys think about the negative stigma around blockchain?
Sure. I think it's just, people, the general public, still isn't really that familiar with the blockchain space. So the first things that they encounter or really think of are Bitcoin and then Ethereum, which are both currently proof of work systems. So then you get into that argument where how proof of work uses so much energy that it's a wasteful process, and is this really worth the amount of resources that it's consuming, right? Even if it's a renewable resource, if something isn't serving a useful purpose, is it worth it? So I think if we can get some solid numbers that we can for sure say, hey, if we can prove that Cardano is effectively carbon neutral, if we can get there, then we've got some pretty big talking points that we could use and to back up that proof of stake is significantly better than proof of work. When we did our research for figuring out energy consumption for Cardano, the numbers at the time were 10,000 times more energy efficient than Bitcoin, but it's quite a bit more now. We just need a later study to actually for sure say that, but that's a huge difference, and Cardano serves a lot more utility than Bitcoin does, whereas Bitcoin's a store of value. It doesn't accomplish the same kind of things that Cardano can. So just having a really good example of what can be done, and that the things that blockchain can be used for are valuable. And then you could look at legacy systems and see, well, all of the energy that's required to run the banking system, is it way more energy efficient to do the same kind of thing on blockchain? Things that people can start to compare once they have solid numbers, right? So, but yeah, I just think the whole blockchain space is still new to a lot of people, and it takes a while to kind of go down that tunnel to get to Cardano even. So hopefully we can kind of break through and, become maybe number one in people's eyes. I think that would be amazing.
46 South.
Yeah, I think it is probably just a perception thing at the moment that people don't quite understand. The general public aren't aware of what it what the blockchain is, what the intent of it is, why it's there, what the utility is going to be. And I think that will come with time. These will be, I've got a couple of kids. I think as they grow, it will become second nature to them. And it's just going to be that change in generation, change in approach. And that's where I think we need to be quite deliberate about what these are, so that we aren't having to change how the blockchain works, that we aren't having to actually, realize, oops, that really didn't work. We can't keep doing that. And I can see Bitcoin's a little bit like that, that if you extend it, is it going to work? How much energy is it going to take to get those last few coins? And that's where I think planning these things from the start the right way is really good experience that's coming out of Bitcoin, and a lot of experience that's coming out of Ethereum and all the other chains as well scattered around, that if it's then the deliberate going, yep, we plan to not consume energy constantly for this thing, then it can be done right. But that takes pretty careful consideration, and it's not always going to be done right. But you need to be able to get the message out there, but also make sure you're doing the right thing even without the message out there. Because what you do will be known at some point. People will discover it. There's enough people talking about it. And so we make sure that the network is doing the right thing, the ecosystem is doing the right thing, especially in that energy usage, that we make sure that we can avoid using energy for this, so that someone else can use renewable energy for something else that's useful, that couldn't be avoided. Heating or something like that. We don't want to be stealing energy from some little old granny who needs to heat her place to generate a Bitcoin. Because we're still all in the same world. We're still in that same place. There's only a finite amount of energy that we're able to use. The sun gives us plenty, but we can't, at the moment, we're not harnessing it quite right. So, a little bit of a sidetrack there, but.
Just out of curiosity, how's in New Zealand? How is the cryptocurrency and everything else? Like, do they know about it? Do they talk about it?
Yeah, and I guess it'll be in some circles. My father, for example, he's a boomer. His exposure to crypto is, what I've told him, but it's also The Economist. He's got articles that he's read from The Economist, and you go, right, well, that's where they're learning from. And as much voice as I might have, there's a lot of voice for that generation that they don't trust it. It's not there. But I'm sure there's a bunch of boomers that are also in, that's the wrong term to use, but I know, that are in crypto. And that's where it will become second nature to the younger generation. I'm only middle-aged, so I don't know what generation I fit in now. But New Zealand, I think it's there. We've got a bunch of companies that are Easy Crypto, BitPrime. There's a couple that are providing platforms for New Zealanders to be able to buy directly and cash out. It's there. We've got the whole IRD that we have here in New Zealand. They're still struggling with how to tax and what to do with it. All countries are busy developing it, but a lot of it's that aversion to how to make that first step into it. And I don't know, I don't know if I could get my parents to get on board, because I know their technology limitations. I'd be setting up a wallet for them, but I'd also be pretty nervous that they'd get scammed pretty quick. So I think there's still a lot of work on that mainstream adoption that we as Cardano could be part of. So.
Thank you so much. Earth natives.
My opinion, I think we must look back at the past few years, how the whole NFT came about. It was born in Ethereum. Ethereum, it's a proof of work. Also, those things start making money movement and getting headlines all around the world. There is some people that loves, some people hates, and people that doesn't like you, don't want to be part of it. They look into it and see aspects of the technology that they could talk about it and kind of explore those pros and cons against that idea. And we have, fortunately, we have this first blockchain that kind of bought the NFTs, the public knowledge, doing in a way that it's not the best energy efficiency. And then I think the whole the question itself, it's about like I would make in 3 words, which is lacking of 3 things: lack of information, lack of education, and lack of patience. Lack of patience as well, because we know where we want to get it, right? Like we want to be the most efficient energy possible, but we have to go through it. Like society is not the way it is today, going through renewable energies in just like from one day to the other. So we gotta be working to do the best, but we gotta knowledge and educate people about what was and what can be done.
Thank you so much. Corey, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's just run through a couple things that were touched on. One, the energy consumption. So I live in Oklahoma, and if you know anything about Oklahoma, it's exceptionally energy rich with both fossil fuels and mostly wind power. So the idea that you couldn't get a bunch of Bitcoin miners and park them underneath a wind turbine to power the decentralized network that is Bitcoin is sort of a silly argument, because there's lots of wind that blows, Oklahoma, where the wind. So the idea of how to harness the energy is obviously complicated, but that's what the smart guys are for. So there's my 2 cents on the energy consumption. As far as the education, the other day I drove over to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and gave about an hour and a half presentation to a financial advisor who is also a former banker. And his reaction was so infuriating to me, because I was able to explain money, decentralized network architecture, and the way that I perceive the future of finance going. And he basically said, well, no, that'll never happen. And I don't know if he wasn't listening. I don't know if he just was scared. I mean, I have no idea what was going through his head. But the fact of the matter is, if you can explain what a blockchain is, which is basically twofold. On the left-hand side, it's the ledger. On the right-hand side, it's the consensus mechanism. And there's a lot more to that, obviously. But if you can start to see that architecture, then you start to realize that centralized entities are just obsolete. And the technology is here already. Of course, it's still being built. However, there is no doubt in my mind that all future systems are going to run in that decentralized architecture. So there's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much, Cody. Thank you so much. Guy, do you wanna go over and give us a nice review again about what's coming on for Fund 8, Fund 7? Talk about climate neutral once again, and give us a nice recap about it.
Sure. So, for Fund 8, climate neutral Cardano will have a world map of green Cardano that we didn't get funded for in Fund 7. We'll try again for Fund 8, and then Captivate Cardano Edition, which is the sustainable tabletop card game project that I'm working on. So, yeah, both of those projects we'll have in for voting. I don't know if there will be any more from the group or from potentially mission-driven pools, but I'll let you know in the future, I guess. I know it's still pretty early, so. But yeah, if you want to know more about either of those projects, you can go to climateneutralcardano.org. We've got the list of our proposals there. They're currently the Fund 7 ones, but yeah, we'll update that for Fund 8. Yeah, would you like me to go into more detail about anything, or?
It's totally up to you. The platform is all yours, and we really want to hear from you. That's why you're here. Please feel free, if you feel that there's something else that you would like to add to, for everybody to know. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you. So yeah, I guess the tabletop card game, if we get that funded, that'll be a fun one. It's Cardano themed. It'll feature some well-known stake pool operators and characters from Cardano's pop culture. So the first one was Charles Hoskinson, of course, as the rat. The second was Frog Pool. And the third is Viper Stake Pool as the snake. So that's coming up soon. We'll be dropping that tomorrow to our delegators. So delegators get digital versions of the cards for staking to Gaia. So that's kind of a way we reward our delegators. And then when we produce the game, they'll be able to redeem those for a premium version of the game that won't be available for retail. So kind of a special thing. And then to make the game more sustainable, we're trying to source FSC certified paper and trying to use as much post-consumer recycled product as possible in the game, so that like in the packaging and as the least amount of plastic as possible, just to kind of go forward with those sustainable initiatives. And then we'll also donate part of the proceeds of the sales to ocean cleanup and tree planting initiatives. So yeah, that's something positive with the game, and it's fun. So hopefully, you'll be able to play it soon. And then, yeah, unfortunately for the Madagascar project, I don't have enough details to really tell you much more. But we do have our upcoming Twitter space on Saturday. We usually have it at the same time, 1900 UTC. So that's like noon Mountain Standard Time. And that's every 2 weeks. And so we usually try and give more details about our projects then. But I know this is still in development. So, but yeah, that would be an exciting one to be able to talk about more. I just don't have more info to really give you on that.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I just want to say really quick, if anybody from the audience has any questions, please feel free to request to be a speaker. And again, if there's any SPO that would like to come up and again talk about their pool or themselves, again, please feel free to request to be a speaker. With that being said, 46 South, if you want to again give us a nice recap about your pool and anything else that you would like to add that you feel that you didn't tell us, please, the mic is yours.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, really, I want to, recap that. Look, we're a little pool. We're always looking for the delegations. We're sitting nice and small at the moment at 47,000. but with that IOHK delegation, it was great. We were minting blocks. It was there, and I think this kind of extends into another Twitter space I had a while back around some of those parameters, and I think the last SBO call there was talk of the change in the dataless rankings and a few things like that, where even with our constantly, where delegation was there, we had 3.5 million ADA, we were minting blocks, we still weren't off to that bottom. And so I think that's I'm putting out there that as a small pool operator, it's pretty tough. But that is where, look, we can survive. We're surviving without the delegations, and we're still part of the network. And that's, again, I think part of the robustness of some of the blockchains like this, that we're not bleeding money. We're not about to collapse as a result of not having the delegation. And so we're still able to contribute to Cardano, and we're still able to do those positive actions that we're doing, tree planting, being sustainable on all the actions that we do. And I think that's just, we're all in a community. We all need to be part of play our part in the community. And yeah, I mean, shout out to all the other New Zealand stake pools as well. And it'll be really good to see, that around the world that Cardano stake pools start to just exist everywhere, and anywhere. And I think that's a big part of what we want to be. That, hey, look, we're holding the flag up down here in Invercargill. Let's make sure that they're scattered all around the world, so that it is a robust network that can survive anything, no matter what's happening in any part of the world at any one time. That the network still exists, the network still happens. I think that's a key part of what we play. So, yeah, I hope that there'll be a few out there that might listen. Send a little bit through our way. I know there's a bunch of wallets out there now that allow you to delegate across a bunch of pools. And yeah, if people have got questions, fire them through. I'm always happy to chat directly as well, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to be part of the space, and to be able to share and talk with like-minded people. I think being part of a community has just been able to ask and reach out to others, and I think that it breaks down some of those barriers, that you get to know people, you get to talk to them. You can see that hidden behind a stake pool is a person, that hidden behind all these wallets are people, and that's what we are in Earth. We're a bunch of people. Make sure you do the right thing. People know what the right thing is. They just don't always choose the right thing to do, though. So.
Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate your perspective on that. Earth natives, please, anything else that you would like to add? Anything else that you would like to share with our audience? The mic is yours.
Jeff, I would like if you could kind of explain a bit about your projects. Like, I know you're doing some action against hunger. Would be awesome to hear from you what you're being up to.
Yeah, yes, that's a great question. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk a lot about it because this space is definitely not about me. But what we do is every month we donate 50% of our rewards, of the pool rewards, to Action Against Hunger. The reason being is I've been cooking since I was 18 years old, or well, professionally anyway, and I've seen all that food waste, and I've seen hunger. I've lived through it for quite a few years, and having this opportunity with the blockchain, with Cardano especially, and running our own pools, helping with the decentralization, helping to grow communities. I think just having the opportunity to donate some money every month to help other people have more access to food. For me and my brother especially was a very big thing. So this is why we wanted to do something like that. Yes, we could keep that and give it as a another form to our delegator or something like that. But this is definitely close to our heart, and this is where we want to focus on. And moving forward, we've already been in touch with them for quite a while now, and they're using Gemini, and unfortunately they don't have ADA. So we're trying to get them with ADA Pay, so we can actually donate ADA instead of dollars right now.
Yeah, sure. Nah, thanks for sharing that, man. And it's impressive what you're doing, and it's beautiful that you are doing something on the niche that you work with. And I think this is very, very important that everybody, because that's what we know the best. That's where our heart lies. And when we work on the sense, that doesn't look like you actually doing something. It's just so natural, and the feeling of gratefulness, it's like it just sits there really nice. So well done. And also I think we all here because of what Cardano has to offer. I mean, like as Institute Ecotherm, we had options of other blockchains that are sustainable as well, and that works with proof of stake. But Cardano is the only blockchain that actually it is creating a culture of doing the good. And I think Charles started this movement, and then now all this Cardano army, it is standing the same flag and fight for the same reason. And then it's awesome that we're all different and that we all care about different things. While you care about the food, we care about how to build, and then there's a lot of people that care about all kind of matters. And I think this is the most beautiful thing from Cardano. Cardano for me, it's all about governance. I think this is, if we could put just one word for Cardano, would be governance. And about the culture, man, it's changed the world for better. So I think we're all in good hands in a great community over here.
Yes, exactly, and I totally agree. And this is the biggest reason that we've started the Twitter Spaces with Justin and Mike. These Twitter Spaces is because we wanted to just give a platform for people to come and talk and share their things about their projects, about themselves. And what we've noticed since we've started is that we've came across so many different people, different SPOs, different mentalities, different geographical places, and it's really amazing that the only thing that we all have in common, I mean, not the only one, but one of the things that we have in common is that the philosophy that Charles puts out there, that we're here to do good, that we're here to offer, to build, to develop our ecosystem, to make things better and not worse. And the fact that so many people, believe in it and follow these steps. And I think what we're gonna build in 5-10 years from now, what's gonna happen? It's gonna be amazing. And instead of hate, instead of wars, instead of all these people fighting with each other on a daily basis, I think we need to stop all this and focus on doing good and helping each other and be kind and be thankful for what we have on a daily basis and not just cry for the price. Yes, I know it's our money. Yes, it's our investment, but prices come and go. Things, if you're here for the philosophy, the price will come. Like everything will come, that's for sure. But having this community over here on this, this space or other spaces, and what we do in general, I think this will definitely have a good impact in our world. Thank you so much for coming on. if there's anybody else that would like to add anything, I'm not sure. Should we, Earth Native, should we do the giveaway now, or what are you thinking, or you're gonna do it later on? What's your plan?
Well, I think it would be cool that we do the giveaway now, and then gotta be for someone that is actually here on the space. I think it's kind of more fair that way.
That'd be cool, yeah.
So if you wanna, I personally am not really good with those things. Usually it's Chris that operates. She's taking care of the baby right now. Is there any of you hosts or co-hosts that could look in the Twitter and pick a number there, pick someone, and then we will do over here? Would that be possible?
Yeah.
Hold on. Chris just she heard me saying she said
okay.
she's gonna do the wheel spinning there, and then we will be announcing here shortly. So you guys just carry on the space, and then we will do now and let you guys know as soon as we have here the results. Sorry about that.
Sounds good. That's fine. Again, we're almost at the end. So again, if there's anybody that would like to add anything else, please go ahead before we do our giveaway.
I just wanted to let you all know that the next redemption period for Veritree is March 15th at 5 p.m. UTC. The first 100,000 trees got claimed pretty fast. So for anybody that has Veritree tokens that are looking to redeem them for NFTs, that is the date, March 15th at 5 p.m. UTC. And yeah, thanks very much for having us on the show. It was great.
All right, Chris got all set up here. All right, let's go for now.
Do I hear that ticker going off in the background?
Spinning the wheel.
Who is that?
So we've got, I think it's Heartland and Oki still in the room. Heartland and Oki.
Heartland and Hoki?
Who's this one?
Is it?
Oh, maybe they're not here anymore.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Heart.
Maybe we have to spin it again?
Yeah, let's spin it again. Happy Travelers Joe.
I don't think she.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Is that allowed?
Is that allowed? What do you guys think?
I mean, she made this space happen, but I'm not sure if that's going to be fair for everybody else here.
And she's not actually. I don't think
she's not here.
One more time.
One more time.
Go. Oh, that's even funny that she's not here for it.
Again.
Oh, she.
I'll do it. Let's go.
One more time.
I'm pretty sure Shakir is gonna win. He always wins giveaways.
Oh, this one, it just says John. Let me go.
John?
Excuse me. Sorry.
Is he John here?
Joshua is here. I'm not sure if.
No, it's only saying John.
I know. Let me know. That's what I wrote. Hold on. Yeah. I can't open up my. Why can't I open this?
All right.
Yeah, Jordan. Sorry, it's Jordan. 88999. He's. Oh, I think they've gone.
He has green with the kind of little piggies.
All right, last.
All right, one more time.
It's all good. It's all good. It happens. Don't worry.
Sorry about that, guys.
All right, now we have Earn Coin Pool. Earn Coin Pool.
Yeah, Earn Coin Pool is here.
Earn Coin Pool.
I chose an emoji just to know that you are listening and you're good to go. Just direct messages, and I will be sending you the address. Thank you very much, guys.
Riz, congratulations.
Hey, guys. Thanks, but I'm an SPO. Why don't you spin it again? Give it to someone else.
Nah, man,
SPO,
that's awesome. It is the SPOs that we want to help, brother.
They finally found somebody.
You are the
Don't
main
ruin
guy.
that for them.
Yeah, you're the main guy, brother.
It says
I
so
wanna say
much
too-
about this whole space that we can't even give something away. Everyone's like, no, give it away
I
to
know.
someone else. Please,
Everybody's
please.
too good, you know.
I
We
wanna
would love you. Would love you to have it, especially even more after you say that you were willing to give up for somebody else. That makes even more sense, and that's the type of people that we want in your community, brother. Welcome to Underground Earth Natives.
I want to say that we in Discord we were having a poll about what I should name my son who's going to be born next month, and Rich put his name in there in the poll. It was a bunch of joke names, and I think second place was I should name my son Hosky, and first place was Rich. So he won twice. I'm naming, I'm in a joking way naming my son Rich, and he won this giveaway. So congratulations! This is your lucky month, my friend.
He's gonna be a Richie Husky. And there also, guys, for talk about Husky and helping.
I'm not sure how's that gonna work out. Reeds and Husky together don't go.
Good point. Also, we're doing one giveaway, one auction at the Vegemite markets as well. It is, it's not the NFT is not gold. It is another. It is a nice NFT. And these NFTs gonna be auctioned only with Huskies. It is kind of a bit of a fun we wanna have there, and then to also talk to the Husky community. So we wanna see some billions for the NFT, yeah, guys. We'll see you guys there.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. We're definitely gonna check it out. We are a Husky Rock Pool as well, so yeah, we're gonna definitely let it.
Sounds awesome.
Again, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that attended our show, that joined us tonight. Again, I'm just going to do a last roundtable. If there's anybody else that would like to add anything right now, please feel free. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Otherwise, we can conclude our space now.